There was once a boy called Red Haired Robbie. Well, his name was Robert, but no one called him that unless he was in big trouble. Red Haired Robbie was quite short, with big blue eyes and lots of freckles. And yes, you guessed it, bright red hair. Red Haired Robbie lived with his mum and his sister, and he loved them very much. But things at home were not always very happy. Robbie knew something was wrong, but he didn't really know what. He heard people say his mum drank too much, but he didn't really understand. To him, life was normal. Like all children, Red Haired Robbie had lots of feelings. Some days he was happy, some days he was sad. Some days he felt so mad that he kicked and screamed. Other days, Robbie felt happy like he was on top of the world. But there was one problem. Red Haired Robbie didn't know what to do with all these feelings. So he did what he thought was the only thing he could do. He kept them all inside his head and inside his heart. He didn't tell anyone how he felt because he didn't know how, and he didn't want to make his mum even more sad. He became an expert at keeping all of these feelings, sad, happy, angry, confused, scared and worried, deep down inside of him so that no one could see. This worked quite well at first, and Red Haired Robbie thought everything was just fine. But after a while, he began to feel a bit full. He had worries in his head, and anger in his fists, and he had sadness in his heart, and fear in his knees. His whole body was full of so many feelings that he couldn't think or concentrate. He felt like a big red balloon that was ready to burst. Then he was afraid. What will happen if all these feelings burst out of me? What will I do then? Will people still be my friend? Will people think I've gone mad? Where will they go? Will it hurt to let them all out? Red Haired Robbie decided that he needed some advice before the big red balloon inside of him burst. He went to Sunflower Garden and asked what he should do. Sunflower said that some feelings can stay in your head and some can stay in your heart, but some feelings need letting out. Sunflower helped Red Haired Robbie let some of his feelings out, slowly, one by one. Some feelings he talked out, some he played out, some he painted out, some he shouted out, and some he cried out. After a while, Red Haired Robbie stopped feeling like a balloon that was going to burst, and he started to feel like himself again. He had fun at Sunflower, and he made new friends. Now, any time that Robbie feels sad or angry or worried, he remembers Sunflower Garden and he knows what to do. He finds a way to let those feelings out, slowly, one by one, and he isn't afraid of bursting anymore.